Welcome back, everyone. Thanks so much for tuning in. This week's project is a platter made from maple. This is my first attempt at a platter, and by far the biggest thing I've turned so far. This wood had a lot of punkiness to it, and was a real challenge to get all of the torn grain and punky wood out, but in the end, I think it turned out pretty cool, so I'm excited for you guys to see it. The outside rim of this platter was such a nightmare. I could not get the torn end grain off of this thing to save my life. I sharpened my tool several times thinking that was it, and I went at it from a couple different directions, and in the end I had to just sand it out because it just would not fully come out. In this scene, I'm just forming the mortise that I'm going to be using for this platter. Here, as you can clearly see with my shoulder in the way, I'm using the Easy Wood Tools rougher. And then I'm just using a small skew to define the dovetail edge. And then I cut out quite a bit of footage because my shoulder is completely blocking the entire view. Shocking, I know. But I've defined the footing for the platter, and now I have it reverse mounted in the chuck. And here I'm just forming the inside of the platter, trying to define the shape. I always gotta throw in the gratuitous "look at my shavings" shot. In this scene, I've marked out where I want the outer rim of the platter to be, and I'll just form the inside of the platter to match that. And then I finally moved the camera so you can actually see what I'm doing. In this scene, I'm using the Easy Wood Tools rougher to define the bottom part of the inside of the platter so it's flat. And now I'm just using my Robert Sorby 1-inch scraper to give it a nice even finish. In this scene, I'm working on the bottom form of the platter. At this point, I'd just like to give a shout out to my subscribers. Thank you so much. Also, I received another sticker this week from Tippin Woodturning. I've mentioned her before in one of my videos, but I absolutely think she's fabulous. So if you haven't already, please check out her YouTube channel. And then just using my Sorby scraper to clean up the bottom of the platter. In this scene, I'm just using some black Starbond CA glue to fill in some of the tiny cracks. Now I'm just using the scraper to get rid of the thick chunks of CA glue that are left behind. And then on to sanding. I know I do a lot of joking about how everyone loves sanding and whatnot, but I really do believe that a little bit of sanding takes your piece from meh to mwah. And then for the traditional finishing steps, some denatured alcohol. Followed by Mylands sanding sealer. Yorkshire Grit. Yorkshire Grit Microfine. And then finishing it off with some Doctor's walnut oil. Ooh la la! Dang, that wood cleans up nice. Okay, I tried for seriously 1 hour to get this stupid thing to hold the platter in straight so I can finish off the bottom. But alas, it was not meant to be. So the foot of this is going to be just ever so slightly off kilter. But it still sits nicely, and that's all that matters. However, that does not stop my dad's voice in the back of my head saying, do it right or don't do it at all. Some things just can't be helped. And yes, I'm using a vacuum to do my sanding on this because my brand new dust collector broke. Yes, you heard that correctly. My brand new dust collector broke. So I turned that back into Store That Shall Remain Nameless and bought a Shop Fox dust collector instead. And it is working swimmingly. Group, if you learn one thing from me, I hope it is this: that if you have the opportunity to buy the slightly more expensive brand name tool, save yourself the hassle and money and buy the brand name tool. I can't tell you how much money I have spent dilly-dallying around getting non-brand name garbage and then ending up buying the brand name instead. Speaking of things you have to do over and over, I got myself a new toy from 904 Customs. I got a custom stamp with my logo, and I must say, it works a heck of a lot better than the branding iron did. In hindsight, as with everything else I do, I probably should have faced it to the camera so you could see it better. Now I'm just finishing it up with some Yorkshire Grit and then some Doctor's walnut oil. And there you have it. A finished walnut platter. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this week's project. Thank you once again to my subscribers. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing. Please hit that like button and comment below. Stay awesome, everyone. Love to all.